Hey folks, John Cantera, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter here, and welcome back to Stop the Scam. We've got an interesting show for today. Let's go ahead and get through the intros and we'll get to it. Welcome to the Double Broker Bounty Hunters Stop the Scam. Here are your hosts, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, John Cantera, and Dispatch Kate, Caitlin Price. Another one bites the dust. Again, Queen on Monday. I love Queen on Mondays. Folks, it is with heavy heart that we announce that this is going to be our finale episode. We have been doing this now. Kate, we started this originally with that other organization 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we started this specific show back in January of last year. So for 2 years, you and I have been doing this just about every week, trying to educate folks on fraud. And I'm sorry to say that after today, it is coming to an end in its current form. But it is certainly not the end of what we do. So for a particular little scumbag that we've been chasing for a long time now, if you think you're off the hook, you're wrong. Kate, how you doing today?
I'm all right. Today has been a lot better than Friday, which was a freaking disaster. Speaking of our favorite person, we could open with someone who was involved with them and did work with them has officially filed a lawsuit.
All right.
So he should be...
I guess we're going to be named expert witnesses.
Possibly. And hopefully people who were also involved get in touch with him and they can, help out with that. So it's good news for the people who've been affected by him.
You have the contact info for this individual?
I do. And
okay. We won't give that out here. But what I will say is if you are a victim of Sean Mabe and you want to get in on this lawsuit, reach out to Kate and she will get you the information that you need. Kate, what email address are you using for this stuff? And you still with me, Kate?
I gotta come back in. I'm hearing the Queen in my ears. Hang on.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, since we're not going to be using the show email anymore after this, you can always reach Kate at kprice@rockdove, that's DOVE, fs.com. You can always get her there. There we go. Better?
Yes, I don't know what happened. Somebody called me and then like the Queen, the song came back. So I don't know what the heck that was, but.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to be, if anybody wants to be involved with that, I'll talk to the person who actually filed the lawsuit and see if they're comfortable with their information going out to the other people. And if anyone is interested, they can reach out to me and I can get them in touch with that person.
Yeah, because we really don't want someone like this operating in the industry.
What are they going to shut me down? Cool, buddy. I'll just buy another GOT. I got about 3 more lined up. You will not stop me. Like this, I have mastered this industry. You will not stop me.
Yes, I take that as an invitation, and yes, it will happen. But that's just me. What else you got, Kate?
So I guess just of things that have gone on this week, because that's all this is going to be, is just us talking about, random things and trying to leave you guys with something to, some brain food, I guess, so to speak. So um the how some people get those offers of like dedicated lanes, and you pay a certain amount to like reserve the lane or whatever. That is still very much a thing. So if somebody texts you and says that they have a dedicated lane and you can reserve that spot to run those lanes for, I don't know, between like $200 and $600, don't do it. It's a freaking scam. And they do use legitimate broker companies. They're operating under the guise of those companies. So that's a very real thing to keep in mind. They'll text you sometimes, they'll claim to be so and so with whatever company. You need to look into that. And if you have any speculation that it's real, you need to contact the broker that they are pretending to be, not the phone number that's texting you, but look up the broker, call the broker, ask if they have any affiliation with this person, if this is a real lane, which I'm sure it's not, and do your own due diligence in that, because that's a very big scam of today. So
Yeah, I did not know that
yeah.
was still happening. I've seen that a few times over the last 9 to 6 months, but I have not seen it lately. But I'm glad from a carrier perspective, you are still seeing it, and you can keep us up to date on those kinds of scams that are out there. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Ugh, need coffee. It's Monday. And yes, I need
It's
lots
late
of freaking
in the day on Monday.
I shouldn't
So
still be yawning at this point, but I am. I get very little sleep because these scumbags keep me up. Because the scumbags don't sleep. The scumbags don't take vacation. The scumbags don't take a day off. So I find myself spending a great deal of time on behalf of the Freight Fraud Task Force, chasing things down in the evenings, weekends, etc., trying to help carriers and brokers who are getting screwed over by these bad guys. And that's something that I'm very committed to professionally. You're going to be hearing a lot more from me about the task force going forward. We have 2 shows coming out with the task force, probably a third. The first one is basically what this show is, talking about fraud in the industry, how to avoid it, talking to guests who have been through it. We're going to be dealing with basically a scam of the week type situation. We'll have a panel of guests on to talk about how that scam was done, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and how to protect yourself. So that is coming probably within the next couple of weeks. I don't know the name of it yet. We're still trying to sort through that. But we will have a new podcast similar to Stop the Scam coming out soon. That'll be hosted by myself and formerly known as the Bodacious Cowboy, Jeff Dickinson. So Jeff and I will be tag teaming on that when we finally get that going and live. And I will have another show on behalf of the task force focused on veterans operating in the trucking industry that we are calling Dog Tags to DOT Numbers. So be sure that you continue to follow this channel if you're watching on YouTube. Or any of the social media accounts for the Freight Fraud Task Force. Both of those shows will appear on anything involving the Freight Fraud Task Force. So please make sure that you follow up on that. But I digress. As you light up a cigarette, indicating that you are done. I know you got a couple other things you want to talk about. Fire away.
So let's talk about Friday. So Friday, I had a situation that just royally pissed me off. I was so mad. And just for giggles, just, to give you kind of a fun fact, I guess. When I get really mad or when I get really frustrated or anything, I will like rage clean. So I'm staying at my mom's right now because I came up to visit family in Indiana and I'm from Texas. So I know my mom's probably just loving the shit out of it. I just cleaned the fuck out of her house, like the entire fucking house. Did like laundry, mopped, everything, just whatever, because I was so pissed. But so Friday, we attempted to book a load with Axel, and who we're already set up with, and we have been for a long time. We did just switch ELD providers. So we went from Trucking Office to BIT, Blue Ink Tech. And I love Blue Ink Tech, by the way. Love them. Trucking Office is not user friendly. Drivers freaking hated it. So had to just get away with it. Get away from it, sorry. So we had to, disconnect and reconnect our ELD, put in a new API key in Highway because it's required now. Didn't used to be, but now it's required. And that's how they determine whether or not you are operating legally, or that's a big part of their carrier identification. They compare your certificate of insurance with your ELD that you integrate into their platform. And that's how they determine the validity of your company, basically. So we only had at the time one truck that was out moving. And this was on Friday. So we only had one truck that was out moving. Another truck has been home with repairs. Two other ones were still in the process of moving them from Trucking Office to BIT. Like, we just made this change. So there's still one truck on there. So there's still a truck that shows connected with our ELD in Highway. So we had been having issues. Axel said that our ELD wasn't connected, and I'm like, it's impossible. Like, I get on there all the time and I check it through my carrier profile. I know it's connected. They're like, I don't know, it's just saying it's not connected. So I called Highway to see what was going on. And of course I got this. I was already frustrated with them from the day before because I had talked to them like 4 times to get my insurance updated. For whatever reason, they weren't updating it, and it was irritating the shit out of me because I needed that to be in there so that I could book a load with somebody, and it just wasn't getting uploaded. So I called on Friday about this issue with my ELD connection, and they said, yeah, it's not connected because there's no movement on your ELD. And I'm like, so at the time I'm talking to them, I'm logged into my BIT account. I'm looking at my trucks. I'm looking at the one truck, the only one truck that has been moving, who we were trying to book. I'm looking at his location history. And I'm like, yes, there is movement. I'm looking at it. He's like, no, ma'am, there's no movement. I'm like, yes, there is movement. I'm personally looking at it. I'm in my account looking at it. There's definitely movement in there. And he just kept arguing with me and arguing with me and arguing with me. And I was getting so fucking pissed. I was like, I was asking to like speak to someone. I'm like, can you just put me in the queue and I'll talk to somebody else? Like, I don't know if you just don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're looking at, but like, I'm looking at it, there's movement. And he's like, well, I can't really send you to anybody else or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I was like, what day are you looking at? Are you looking at like a particular day? Because at this particular time right now, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. The truck has not moved. We're trying to book him. And he's like, yeah, I'm looking at today. I'm like, okay. So there's a little arrow in like the top of your screen where you can go back and you can look at like previous days. I'm like, do you want to maybe go back and look at those? There's movement on there. He's like, no, there's not. I'm like, oh my, when I tell you, I was almost yelling at this guy. I was so freaking mad. And I don't do that. But if you're going to make us use these platforms to verify ourselves, and we have to use them, there's no way around it. We have to use them in order to work. Then please work with us and and do your portion, do your part. We're doing our part. We, connected the damn thing. Please look at it and connect it because there is movement on it. You're just only looking at one particular time on one particular day. But oh my God, I was so fucking pissed. That was basically it. That was basically all that was happening. I was so freaking mad. We couldn't book the guy because that's the load we were trying to get. Everything else sucked. Of course, everybody knows that. You have to wait 20 years just to find something that's worth a shit. And you finally do, and something like that happens. But it's irritating when we're forced to use these platforms and it's not even executed properly. Or we do our part when we're forced to use those platforms, but they don't do their part to help us, verify ourselves or whatever. It's not that hard to just go back any prior day. I mean, I was reading off points. I'm like, okay, so if you go back, this was August 8th. There's no movement on the 8th at 10 a.m. I'm like, if you go back to the 7th, there's 630 pings. You go back to the 6th, there's 540 pings. Go back to the 5th, whatever, there's this. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. That was it. That's why I was mad.
Oh, can I have you stop in Pensacola and clean my place for me?
Oh my God.
I'll be sure to piss you off the entire time you're here.
Yeah, let's not do that. I don't like being mad. Oh my, even the girls that work with me were like, what is going on? Like, I can hear you over there just like getting really pissed. Like, yeah, because I don't think this guy knows what he's doing. Like, who taught you how to do this? And then it pisses me off even more that, well, some people that are hired to do these jobs are not based in the US, which isn't necessarily a problem. What irritates me is when maybe their accent is like super thick and they're just hard to understand. And I'm trying to like rush because I need this to happen quickly. And I'm having a hard time understanding what you're saying. And oh, it's so irritating.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I've said this many times before, and I know there are a lot of carriers out there who disagree. When Highway is set up properly, it's very easy to work with and very easy for brokers to talk to you, very easy for brokers to verify everything, and things mostly go smoothly. It's when you run into situations like that things go completely sideways. One of the things that I recommend to new clients, new dispatch clients who come to me, and I'm talking to one now actually, is take the time, log into Highway and go through your profile and make sure you have everything up to date. And if it's not, get it updated and realize that it takes at least 24 hours for those updates to go into effect, especially if you have to send the new COI in or something. It takes hours, if not a day, for that to actually be seen on the profile, which means brokers can finally see it. I'm willing to bet that the broker you were talking to only has an access screen that shows currently what's available on your MC in terms of the map and ELD connection. Okay.
Yes. So it will show that it's disconnected and that's all they can see, which is fine. That's why I called Highway. Then they told me that.
But if they said there was no movement, then they could see your truck. They could see it was parked wherever it was parked. But,
right.
Well, no shit, it's not moving because I don't have a load to move toward. I'm not going to burn gas while I'm waiting. Yeah, no, you'd think people would be smart enough about that, but I don't think from the Highway platform they have the ability to go back and look at history for the truck. I'd have to talk to a broker who has that knowledge. If there's a broker on here who's watching, who has access to Highway, if you can kind of jot in the comments real quick how that kind of looks, if you're able to see historical information on the ELD, look up for a carrier. It'd be interesting to know that. I know as part of the task force, we're trying to get representatives from each of the screening services at the same table, so we know what it is that everyone's looking at, so that we can help coach carriers and brokers as to where they need to go, what they need to look at when they're in the middle of a scam situation, so that they can try to sort things out in a rapid manner. And hopefully, based on what you experienced, Kate, we can find what that solution needs to be and get a checklist put together for other carriers who wind up in that situation. So it goes a lot faster and they don't have to get as frustrated as you do. But at least they may have as clean a house as your mom does now.
Yeah. I'm sure she's just loving it. I haven't been mad today, so there's dishes in the sink.
So what else do you have going on?
Another point that I kind of wanted to touch on was claims, like damage claims. So an example. So back in January, and this is just my company personally, so this is not like a blanket statement. This is personally what happened to me. Back in January, we purchased a domain and we changed emails. We changed our information with FMCSA, with Highway, MCP, RMIS, all that stuff. But brokers who don't use those platforms do not have that updated information, and I don't know why, but they don't like regularly screen FMCSA or anything like that for changes like that. So I got a call just a couple hours ago, actually, and the guy was like, hey, this is so and so from XYZ broker. Did you get our email about our claim? And I'm like, no. They're like, oh, we sent it to 214 logistics and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, that's not our email anymore. We purchased a domain like months and months and months ago. It's updated everywhere. I'm not sure why it's not updated with you. I mean, obviously we've booked a load since then, so I don't know why you still have that old information. But whatever, that's beside the point.
You said that was on Carrier 411?
No. This was
where did they see the outdated information?
It's just what they have in their system, because they don't use I don't know if they don't use RMIS or MCP or Highway or whatever, but for some reason they had our old contact information in their brokerage system.
Okay, so basically their TMS is an older TMS, and instead of drawing updates off of Safer or RMIS or whatever platform it is they may be integrated with, they have to manually do those updates every time somebody runs a setup. Got it.
Right. So I said, no, I didn't get anything like that. I didn't get any claim email or anything like that. So he forwarded it to me, went ahead and forwarded it to me. He told me a little bit about the load. I said, what's the load number? Let me look it up. So he looked at it, or he told me the load number. I looked it up. I found it. I looked up the paperwork, and I'm like, there's no notations on this BOL about any damage or anything like that. And he's like, well, honestly, I would just send over, write a denial letter about the claim, send it to us, and we'll send it to the customer. He's like, if you have a BOL with no notated damage on it or anything, then that's pretty much like you're free and clear. Like the broker told me that. The claims manager of the broker told me that. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I was going to do that anyway, because I had already looked it up and saw pictures and all that stuff. But all right. So he ended up sending me the information for it. But what's interesting to me is not only was there no notation on the BOL or anything like that, but this load was delivered. It was either picked up or delivered, one of the two, I don't remember, on 5/20. So May 20th of this year. That claim was not filed until July 26th.
Wow.
So like 35, 36 days after that happened.
Well, the law says they have up to 9 months to file a claim.
Right, but the fact that there's no notes on the BOL and they waited that long to file the claim makes me think, like, in my head, I'm already just like, that sounds like it's something that you guys did while it was in your facility after unloading and are now trying to say that it's our fault so that you can get reimbursed for it. But my point to the whole thing is, just because somebody files a claim with your company, if you don't think that it's right or you know that it's not right, you can write a denial letter. It has to be, official company letterhead, you as the carrier type thing, but you can write a denial letter about the claim, deny the claim, and that gives the customer a chance to rebut the claim, and whatever happens from there happens. But you don't just have to. There's this idea, and it's not even just an idea. It is a very real thing that most times the carrier just gets slapped with whatever. We kind of get the shit into the stick. And when it comes to things like claims, it doesn't matter if it was shipped that way, if it was happened during unloading, if it happened at the receiver or whatever. They're going to try 9 times out of 10, dependent on the carrier. So you don't always just have to take it. You can attempt to deny the claim and, write a letter, whatever, show your proof, do your own research, go back through email, see if you sent pictures, send a picture of your BOL if it doesn't have any notes on it. I mean, this one had not only the BOL that didn't have any notes on it, but it also had a receiving slip that said notes/remarks, and it literally said none. Like somebody wrote none. So, and it's not like it wasn't tarped, so they were able to see unloading every single piece. And the piece that they're claiming was an AC unit, and it has a big old dent in it. Like you would see that when you're unloading it. So,
one of the things that I tell fraud clients who reach out to us at the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, what one of your standard policies as a carrier should always be to take a picture of a cargo as it's loaded, and then take another picture as soon as you open the doors again. If you're a flatbed or a hot shot, take a picture as it's loaded, take a picture with it tarped and secured, then take another picture of it at the delivery before you start untarping and unsecuring it, and then take a final picture of the condition of the cargo. It may sound tedious as hell, but those pictures will save you thousands in unwarranted claims, because without proof by the carrier is almost always at fault. So you have to protect yourselves out there, guys. You have no choice. You have to do it. And if you don't, then you only have yourselves to blame if a claim comes your way and you can't defend yourself. I'm sorry. It sucks. I don't agree with it, but it is the reality. Did I lose you, Kate?
No, I have to tell somebody to set up a drug test for someone. I don't know why my video got cut off.
It's happened a couple times now, but it's very short-lived. It's all good, though. I'm dealing with a couple of cases right now. I've got a new carrier I'm trying to onboard. He actually has a freight guard against him, and I'm trying to work and resolve that for him as well. So that's going to be challenging. Kind of tells you how slow dispatching has gotten for me, is that I'm taking on new carriers. And this particular one happens to have a freight guard against them also. One that I think is undeserved. It's a simple situation, I think. The carrier ended up canceling a load. They got a flat. They weren't going to make it in time. There were still 3 hours left to book the load. They canceled it as quickly as they could. They sent pictures. They sent receipts. They sent everything proving what happened. And the broker said, we don't care, and threw the freight guard on them anyway. So this is going to be a fun one. I'm taking this client on, but I'm doing it. You know, I'm hoping that there are enough smart brokers out there who actually read these freight guards and can see the stupidity in their existence. And if they can do that, then I know I can get loads for this guy. If not, well, it's going to be interesting all the same. Another case that I'm currently working, I'm actually writing an article right now for an associated group with the task force about the accident that took place in Terrell, Texas. That fatality accident from last month. So more to come on that. As soon as that article gets released, I will be posting on my social media where that can be found. As I've mentioned before, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing moving forward is going to be for the Freight Fraud Task Force. So if you aren't already following the Freight Fraud Task Force on LinkedIn, please do so. A lot of our stuff's going to come through there. And I know I spent the weekend opening up social media accounts on Facebook, YouTube, X, and a couple of others for the Freight Fraud Task Force. So we will be streaming stuff to those outlets as well in the very near future. So please like and subscribe to all of the Freight Fraud Task Force social media so you can stay informed of the stuff that task force is going to be doing because starting this week, the task force goes loud. We are looking to get out there and start making some waves. We've been doing a bunch of stuff under the surface for a while, and we're starting to come to the surface and make things happen. So lots of stuff to go on around there, which is why the decision was made to go ahead and take this show down. We've been at this, like I said before, for about 2 years now. It's been absolute fun. I've had some people sit there and tell me, you know, John, in trying to get a show produced, even if you're doing it live, that there's still a fair amount of work involved. And of course, you're trying to do your full-time job as well. And it's been therapy for me. I don't know about other people in this industry, but yeah, I was not this gray 5 years ago. And a lot of it has to do with the work I've been doing in dispatching specifically that has really beat me up. And doing this show has been therapy because it allows me to vent on a lot of things that I've been frustrated about, which has been mostly fraud. And thankfully, because of the fraud that I got suckered into, I'm able to stand here and help others fight frauds that they get involved in. So, you know, I'm just happy to be out here and help people and share my experience with others as we go. And I'm glad I'll be able to continue doing that in the future through the task force. Welcome back, Kate. I think we got your issues all sorted out.
Yes, my phone was freezing because it's overheated. So I think I have fixed it. I think.
Oh, you had it sitting on the dashboard?
Yeah, but I have it right in front of my AC, so hopefully that fixes it.
Yeah. Well, you're still at home in Indiana, right? Not in Texas.
Right. Yeah, I had to take a friend to. I was like, can we like reschedule it because I have something important to do at that time. But he said he's been trying to get this appointment for like 6 months and it's for his back. So okay, fuck, I'll do it for my car, I guess.
Yeah, hey, you know what? It's all good. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I think I've done a couple of shows from my car too, and as you can see, I've got a guest in the studio with me right now. Hello, Jack. Are you done? Yeah, he's come on, come on. Ah. Yeah, he just randomly jumps up on my desk about 20 times a day. Likes to step on my keyboard, screws up my spreadsheets, normal cat stuff. Heck, maybe I need to name the new show after him because he's undoubtedly going to continue to do that for the foreseeable future. Anywho, so for the any other issues that you've been dealing with, Kate? You said you had a list of stuff you wanted to talk about here.
That was mostly my list. I think there was something else on there, and I don't know. Oh, maybe it was about claims. I think it was just about claims, and I already talked about that.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. And just wanted to give people few good things to think about. And again, leasing on, if you're considering leasing on with somebody, please look into them, look at their safety score, look at all kinds of stuff, ask for reviews, ask for references, whatever. Make sure they're legit. Make sure they pay their freaking people.
Read the freaking contract too. And while you're reading the contract, be sure to have 49 CFR 376.12 open, because you need to make sure the contract includes all elements from that regulation. If it doesn't, then you could be accused of double brokering, because some brokers will say that if you don't follow the reg in its entirety, then you're not legally leased on. Therefore, you are a scammer. So, guys, you got to take care of yourselves and be smart about how you do it. Read the freaking contract. You're leasing onto a carrier, read the contract. You're hiring a dispatcher like me, read the contract. And there better be a freaking contract. I don't care if you're leasing on to your brother. There needs to be a freaking contract. Otherwise, your brother is illegally brokering to you. Okay? You can't skip steps in this, guys. You really can't. There's too much at stake. You spend too much time building a business. You don't want it all to go away because you took a shortcut. That's a shitty way to go under. That's just my 2 cents. And if you sit there and you read the contract and you do your due diligence, then you don't have to deal with people like this.
What are they going to shut me down? Cool, buddy. I'll just buy another DOT. I got about 3 more lined up. You will not stop me. Like this, I have mastered this industry. You will not stop me.
I wonder how many more times I can insert that today, but we'll we'll see how that plays out. I see you lost picture again. That's back.
I had to freaking text somebody because they keep blowing me up about getting this guy's drug test in.
Oh, God. So much fun. So much fun. But
somebody got a couple comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me click on that. I didn't have that open. Okay. Agent Janulius. Please discuss growing trend of brokers putting their own name or sister shell company's name in the carrier space on the BOL. Holy cow. Agent, thank you so much for bringing that forward. This guy is actually a FBI agent. I actually connected with him when he was working at the Secretary of State's office in Illinois. And he'd been helping on a couple of cases that we started working on as the task force. Costas, thanks so much for chiming in. And he has got a huge comment there that I want to make sure everyone hears, especially brokers, because brokers need to understand Just because you put your name as the carrier doesn't mean you're the carrier, and it causes a lot of problems. What you don't know is it causes a lot of problems for your brokerage. So please do not put your brokerage name in the carrier section on a BOL. You do not have physical possession of the cargo. You do not have title to the cargo. Your name should not be in that block. Your name should only be in the third party block. So please make sure you do that. If you're operating off of a TMS and your TMS automatically puts your brokerage name in the carrier block, talk to your TMS provider and get that fixed. It is a liability issue. Okay. Make sure you get that taken care of, because you brokers will get blamed for claims when it isn't your fault. Make sure the real carrier's name is in the carrier block on the BOL. And carriers, if you're staring at your BOL and your name is not in the carrier block, you are more than justified to take a pen, draw a line through it, write in your company name and your MC number, and then initial next to it. Okay, that is perfectly legal to do. And then it identifies you, because that is the official bill of lading with pen and ink, not a photocopy, not a scan. That does identify you as the true final mile carrier. Oh, and be sure you sign your BOLs. Way too many carriers don't sign their own BOLs. That can sometimes be a problem as well. I've mentioned before, and this is probably
sign it too.
Huh? What was
I said,
that?
and have the shipper sign it too. I see way too many BOLs with no shipper signature.
I don't normally see that, but I almost always don't
see that all the time.
carrier signature. But I've had one carrier take my advice. One carrier that I dispatched for, who actually took my advice and got a stamp for their drivers. And the stamp had the driver's printed name, had the carrier company printed name, had their MC number on it, and used that to sign every BOL that they had. And then the driver put his signature underneath it. It's only the one carrier that's done it. And oh, by the way, they've had 3 claims attempted against them, and all 3 we were able to defeat because we were able to identify them as the legitimate carrier, because they're using the stamp and they're signing their stuff. They did what I asked them to do. I've had other carriers who I currently dispatch for who have not been able to avoid claims because they don't use things like stamps. And so that is a very big tip that I offer to any carrier out there. And no, Costas, thank you. It's been great working with you, and I'm sure we will be talking often again. Again, we will be back. Certainly I will. And knowing Kate, we're going to have her on as a guest fairly often. The task force is going to have a similar show starting in the next couple of weeks. In fact, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it's the same time slot. But we'll see how that plays out in the near future. DC, thanks for the shout out, buddy. Greatly appreciate it. And we will definitely be continuing to follow you as time goes through. We've had a lot of support over the last 2 years from a great number of friends. We've had every screening service has been on here at one point or another. RMIS and Truck Stop, MCP we've had on here a lot. We've had Highway on a couple of times. We have had numerous big name brokers coming in here. We've had quite a few fellow fraud fighters coming through. We've even had critics come through. And whether you've been a supporter of the show or a critic of the show, we still thank you for your engagement. We still thank you for your comments. We still thank you for whether you support it or not, your support of what we've been doing. I know I get numerous death threats for the work that we do, and I wear each one of those like a badge on my sleeve. This has been so much fun, and I'm not stopping. As the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, I will be going with the task force and their upcoming show. Kate, what are your plans for the future?
I don't know. I feel like if I continue to do any sort of like podcasting, it'll just be about anything, just anything industry related. Maybe it'll just be me bitching once a week. I don't know. Because honestly, it helps. It helps to just to vent. This is like a venting session to me, you know? So
So it's
I don't
therapy
know.
for you too.
Maybe something like that. It is because you get to get you're able to get a lot of things off your chest and find people that relate to those things or help other people who are maybe in a situation where now they're relating to it and they never did before. So yeah, I mean I enjoy it to a fault. I just think fraud is just so dry. Nobody I don't want to say nobody wants to talk about it, but a lot of times they just don't, or maybe it hasn't happened to them yet, so they're like, I don't care, you know, whatever. But it it's so very dry, and I still want to be able to discuss those things and publicize those things, but also talk about other things that are maybe a little bit more engaging and also relatable that aren't necessarily fraud related.
It, I've seen so much go on, and we've never had a large audience here, and we never started this with the intent of being able to be big enough to monetize and whatnot. Not like some of our critics, like Axel or some of the others that are out there who have like 20-30,000 followers. Have at it, guys. We're not here for the followers. We're not here for the clicks. We're not here for the views. We're here to educate. We're here to try to make things better for people before things happen. And it's very difficult because we operate in a niche. It's difficult to get that message out. We know that. We still try to do everything we can, which is why we're spread across multiple platforms. And, we do regular posts on this stuff, not just videos. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes this can be a very dry topic. It's not sexy or exciting, and I get that. But it's important. It's terribly important. You know how many times I see how I see stuff coming across and people saying, "Oh, I had no idea any of this existed. You got so much great information on your channel." If only they look for us. If only they look for us. Now, what I will tell
and you'll see that it exists really fast.
I am going to keep the channel open. And I am going to keep all the videos archived. So all the stuff that we've done will continue. Please feel free to check it out, reference it. Yes, things are changing all the time, so the information is going to get old. But sometimes understanding the past will show you how things are developing in the future. We have accurately predicted evolutions to some of these scams based on what we've been seeing in the past versus today. We've been able to pick those new evolutions out as they're before they ever happen. So there's good information out there. Study up on it. Know what you're doing. If you ever go to my website, I have a 21-page guide sitting on there about the evolution of double brokering. That guide is being updated right now, and I'm going to transfer it to the task force's website once the website fully launches here in the next couple of weeks. So all that information will still be available out there. Thanks, Costas. Again, really do appreciate you following up. And what's this? Warrant carriers, a cluster contracts. That's adding different amendments on the rate confirmations at the last minute. Normally you see that as special instructions or whatnot, but yeah, you don't just have the agreement as a legally binding contract between a carrier and a broker. The rate confirmation is an addendum to that. So yes, brokers can slip in new requirements, and because we have to sign a rate confirmation as a carrier, you automatically agree to those conditions as they come up. So, I have seen rate confirmations 5 pages long. If you're a dispatcher or you're a carrier, stop and read those. Please read those just to make sure you're not committing a carrier to some things that you shouldn't be committing them to. Costas, you've been a wealth of information today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Again, this has been bittersweet for us. Kate and I have been together for a couple of years. We've been through a couple of different lives with each other now. And God knows Kate, you ain't going anywhere. I can tell you that now. You may not be my co-host after this, but you ain't going anywhere. We're going to have you come by often, I'm sure. So
I'll definitely still be here.
Definitely keep the time block open. You got any parting thoughts before we wrap this up?
Like John said, we're not going anywhere. We're still here. We're still here to help and give advice or talk to you guys. Everything that we have done thus far has been volunteer work, up to a fault. So we're still here to talk. We're still here to give advice and listen to your situation and see what maybe your best course of action is if you're dealing with an issue. We're not going anywhere. We're just not going to be on screen from 1 to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time once a week.
Yeah. I do want to give a great deal of thanks again to the Lounge Media Group, who has allowed us to operate on their network for the duration. Pedro, Hunter, you guys have been awesome to us, and we could not have been able to continue the show as long as we have without your support. We also want to thank our past sponsors, AccuBid Pro. Jimmy, you've been awesome to us. Thank you so much. Dale, you've been great as well. We could not have gotten through without the support of our sponsors and the network to last as long as we have. For everyone else that's been out there encouraging us to keep things going, thank you so much for the words of encouragement. We will definitely keep this going on, just not in its current form. And as Kate pointed out, all you have to do is reach out. We are here. You can go to my website, vigilanttransport.com, and you can always reach me through there at any time. You could also use my Double Broker Bounty Hunter email address. That's jcantera@doublebrokerbountyhunter.com, and I can help you through anything. You can also, if you are a member of the Freight Fraud Task Force, you can reach us through the Freight Fraud Task Force website. We will soon be standing up our crisis action team at the Freight Fraud Task Force. This is an on-call group who will be live to deal with any emergency situations for members that may happen that comes with membership to the task force. As soon as we get that stood up, we'll be getting that information out as well as the phone numbers to call for that hotline. We're not going anywhere, guys. We're just changing how we do it. But seriously, if you ever have any issues, you can reach out to us anytime, and we are happy to help in any way that we can. Normally at this point, I would start running the banners talking about how we're live every Monday and all that. And I'm sorry to say we're not going to do that this time. But again, we do thank you for all the support that you provided over the last couple of years. And we look forward to how things will be in the future. So for the last time, we want everyone out there, all you drivers, all you brokers, shippers, etc., stay safe. And whatever you do, don't let scammers take you for a ride. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in our next life.